Hello and welcome to the Azure Structured Partner Engagement Program. My name's Planky. Well, it's Steve Plank, but everybody calls me Planky. I'm an Azure TSP in the Specialist Technology Unit in Microsoft. And this program is designed for Microsoft partners to solve a specific problem, and it is that problem of having enough in the funnel to drive ever-increasing consumption. Now that we're measured all on consumption, that's what we're trying to achieve, it means we need a very full pipeline. There is MS funding available on interesting opportunities through the CSIF program, and you may well have used that in the past. So with your skills and Microsoft funding and input from Microsoft as well, we can move customers through the whole cycle of getting from thinking about the cloud to actually deploying something. We also like to think about partner exposure through case studies. This is if the partner does something good, we want to make sure that the world knows about it. So we have Microsoft.com case studies, Microsoft.com/UK/case studies. We've got the enterprise newsletter, the finance newsletter, the public sector newsletter, the health newsletter, etc. We've got lots of ways of promoting case studies. So this is an important part of the program. In fact, we go so far as to say if the customer wants some funding, then they need to really participate in a case study of some description. Okay, the process is really simple. It's 3 steps: show, follow up, and engage. You can see the 3 pictures here. The left-hand one is the show, the middle one is the follow up, and the last one is the engage. So this one on the left-hand side here, the joint briefing, Microsoft and the partner, that's done in a Microsoft MTC, a Microsoft Technology Center. We've got them in TVP, Edinburgh, and Paddington. Now, the interesting thing about the MTC is that it's a facility which has a 14-seat room, which means you can get 10 customers in there. You can have 2 of your guys here. I would suggest 1 commercial, 1 technical, 2 Microsoft people, probably both technical. And then we have this ante-room, and the ante-room is a really good place where coffee and registration is done at the start of the day, and also lunch and coffee breaks are had here. So what it represents is a great chance for you to converse with customers about the projects that you're doing or that they're doing. After that day, the partner will follow up. So the partner, 24 to 48 hours later, will follow up on that opportunity. Now, you notice I did say that would require 1 commercial person from the partner, 1 technical person from the partner, and probably a couple of technicals or 1 technical and 1 commercial from Microsoft. And the idea of that is for us to get good technical coverage and for us to be spotting the conversations that are going on in the rooms so that when we get into the ante room and have coffee and lunch and things like that, that those conversations can continue. So once the partner's followed up, we'll find out what the hot ones are and we will do engagement. We'll apply for CSIF funding for any of the opportunities which looks as though they can get a 12 times return on the investment that's put in the first place. And those opportunities will lead to a case study. Okay, so the process looks like this. Start. The partner agrees to participate and decides on some Azure subject. Let's just imagine you're a security expert, then perhaps security would be a good thing. Let's imagine that you're a big data expert, then big data would be a good thing. You then invite your prospects to the event. So the important thing to be aware of here is these are your prospects. They don't come from Microsoft, they come from you. You use your demand generation engine, you use your marketing techniques, you use your lists of customers, so you generate the attendees for this. And then what happens is on the MTC event itself, you will talk about your capability, your capacity, and if you've got one, a customer case study to prove your abilities. And then Microsoft will do, it says the bulk of the session, but actually if you've got a technical person there and we've got a technical person there and we can address some hands-on situation for the customer, then it'll probably be a 50-50 type presentation. So the thing is that it gives you the ability to go to a customer and say, would you like to come to one of our events? It's being hosted at Microsoft and we will have Microsoft there. So you're able to, there's a bit more cachet in actually doing it at Microsoft, using Microsoft people, showing the kind of commitment that Microsoft is putting behind you as a partner. All of that happens in the MTC, and we've just talked about that. Okay, then you follow up 24 to 48 hours later. There is a tool called Partner Connect. It's MSX for partners, and there's a special tag that you will be able to put in there to tag this opportunity so that our director, Mark Bedford, is able to see what is happening with the opportunities that we're using on this program. Interesting opportunities become eligible for CSIF, Cloud Solution Investment Funding, I think that is, Cloud Service Investment Funding. And the first engagement ideally would provision something that would work in day one. Now that works really well when it's infrastructure. When it's applications, it's a bit more difficult. So it depends on what we're going to do. Sometimes you can do both applications and infrastructure. You could put, for example, a virtual network and a VM in the cloud, and that could be available from day one for the customer. The idea is to get them consuming very, very quickly. That's the idea of this. Okay, so then once we've done something and we've gone all the way through this and you've actually delivered a solution of some description to the customer, that's when the case study, the video or an article or something like that to promote your capabilities as a partner comes out. And then we will make that available on all our web properties. We will send it out through different channels like the newsletters and so on. That means that you become famous for that case study, and that means that you can then just use that case study as advertising material to go around this loop again, around and around and around and around. The MTC work tends to be not just simply, stand there and give a presentation after presentation after presentation. It will tend to be morning presentation, afternoon some kind of hands-on. And we have found that we sell to the technical people. We're finding greater success in selling to the technical people than to the business. We can still do business things using this mechanism. It's just that the audience and the content would be different. But if we do a hands-on session, we have some hands-on sessions which are available for you to use. We have a infrastructure one, we have a DevOps one, we have an IoT one, I think we've got a security one. Or you could go for something bespoke, something specific to your skill set. And that's how we operate it. Okay, so what are we looking at? Well, each of our SSPs, our solution sales professionals, have a top 20. They each have a red list. Red list are customers who have not yet spent any money on Azure, or I think they've spent less than $100 a month on Azure. The amber list is those customers that have spent less than $5,000 per month on Azure, and then there are others. So we can give any type of material which would be relevant to the type of customers that you would invite. Now we could do a bespoke workshop. You could say, well, we're I don't know, cognitive services and artificial intelligence. Let's imagine that's what your specialization is. You could write a specialist workshop, a bespoke workshop for that, and have Microsoft help you deliver that workshop, helping with the sort of the proctoring and that kind of thing. It's all done in the MTC, so it gives that kind of feel to the customer. Okay, so let's just quickly review it. Remember, it's show, follow up, engage. So the joint briefing by Microsoft and the partner with the customers that you invite into the MTC, and you've seen what the MTC is like. Then 48 hours later, you follow up. You find out who the hot ones are. The ones that aren't interested, you kind of don't really worry about those very much. But the ones that are interested, then we go through the engagement. We apply for the funding to do whatever it is that they want to do. Maybe they want to do a case study. They want to do a POC, something like that, to prove that something is going to work for them. Or maybe they just want to get on with something. We don't have to do POCs. Okay, so what are the next steps? They are, 1, socialize the idea within your organization. Make sure that lots of people know about this so that when they're having conversations with customers, they can talk about it. 2, decide on the date that you would like to do this. Now, I would suggest a minimum of 6 weeks away, but probably it's going to take you 2 weeks to get prepared to start the invitation process, and then a 6-week invitation sort of line, because that gives people enough time to clear their diaries. A topic, so let's just say you wanted to do the infrastructure one, or you wanted to do the IoT one, then you tell us about that. If it's bespoke, then you'll need to allow enough time before you start inviting customers to actually develop the content. We've had customers do this. We've had partners do this. We've had partners do things like cognitive services and IoT, where we actually had some customers who built bot services for helping their local citizens. This was with local authorities. Decide on one of your commercial people to involve, because it'd be really good to have a commercial person in the room monitoring and watching the conversations that result. As we go through the technology, customers are going to say things like, can I do this? Can I do that? Would this work? Could we do this kind of a project? We need the commercial person in the room to pick up on those conversations and extend them when they get into the ante room. One of your technologists, because they're probably, if it's bespoke, they're going to develop the content, but if it's not, then they're going to be an expert in a particular area, and we'll work with that together with Microsoft. Then we need to have a call, a telephone call between these people that we just talked about, between a representative of the MTC to talk about what they can do, things like registration and advertising and that kind of thing. me, because I'm the owner of the program, the Microsoft folks, so that would probably be me and one other person. That other person might be commercial, might be technical, depends on who you invite. We'd have to discuss that. And also with you and your people that you are going to bring along to the event, not the customers, just the partner people. And then there's the idea of doing invitations. So we'll give you invitation material. You can either take that and use it to invite your customers, or you can just create your own invitations. Okay, that's it. Hopefully that's great. Please get in touch with me. I'm Steve Plank, splank@microsoft.com. And we can have a further chat about it. I know I've talked to a whole bunch of you about this already in person. I've just put this video together to make it easier to understand. And there were 6 partners that I didn't manage to get to on the MSP day because it was so busy that I only got to the first 8 of you. So yeah, splank@microsoft.com. Please get in touch. Talk to you later. Bye.